Okay, ladies and gentlemen and ladies and gents. I just got paid. We just made a mistake. See, I hit the red button as opposed to the pause button when I was coming back to the line because I'm so used to just hitting the red button saying, okay, it's over, finished, said, and done. However, that made that video end up short. We left off talking about the attorney. Now, the last video talked about the judge holding that moron, that idiot, that imbecile under their oath. Now, many of them, I just had somebody tell me that somebody tried that, and the judge says, denied, objection, denied, and so on and so forth. Ladies and gentlemen, they can say whatever they want to at that point. They're officers of the court. As long as they're in the capacity of their office, they sit there under oath. You have to put them in that capacity. If you don't put them in that capacity, call them by their name. Say, Mr. Such and such, such and such, as an officer of this court, a duly elected and or appointed member of this body, you are hereby bound to your oath of office, and anything you say contrary to that will be held and used against you. And if you should lie and or misrepresent the facts of this case or the facts as they stand this day, it shall be held against you, used against you, and you, sir or madam, will have a criminal claim, not complaint, filed against you. If they object you, it doesn't matter. Please understand, your oath of office overrules your objection. So please stop all of that. You're interfering with my getting justice, and you're interfering with the public's right to justice. Please stop. And then move forward, people. It doesn't matter what they say after that. If they sit up there and violate the law, file a criminal claim against them. Not with the Board of Judicial Misconduct. Oh no, go to the presiding judge first. And then if he doesn't do his job, bring that same claim against him for collusion, for conspiracy, for ignoring the rules of the court. See, a judge can only sit as a judge as long as it's in good behavior. Now you bring about behavior that is not so good. That's what you're doing, people.
Is that what they're doing? They doing that by themselves? No help?
That's what they doing.
They gonna get in trouble?
How can they get in trouble? They're not doing anything illegal.
But they gonna get in trouble. You know how the court do. The court gonna threaten them, and the court gonna say, and
the moment they make a threat, say, at this point, since you have now threatened my liberties, I exercise my right to remain silent, and I shall not participate in these proceedings any further. Since you have just proven to me that this is not a court of law. And make sure when you say court of law, you say court of constitutional law. Because their oath of office is to uphold the Constitution of the state and the Constitution of the United States. And remember, anything contrary to the Constitution of the United States of America is repugnant and blah, 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 blah. Okay? Now let's talk about the attorneys. Ladies and gentlemen, the attorneys are officers of the court. Do you know that they cannot lie? But attorneys lie all the time. That's right. But they cannot as an officer of the court. They have the very same oath as an officer of the court. See, they take an oath to the bar, but they also take an oath to the court. Take a look at an attorney's oath. All attorneys must take this oath when becoming a member of the bar. They have the same obligations. See, in many cases, ladies and gentlemen, attorneys like to come in and they like to talk on behalf of their client. Now, this is where we left off talking in the last video. Ladies and gentlemen, an attorney cannot talk on behalf of his client. Why can't an attorney talk on behalf of the client? Because the client is there and they're under oath. They have an obligatory duty to tell the truth in court, whether they swear or not. Do you guys understand that? The penalty of perjury, that's just something they added later. But the law is you have an obligation to tell the truth in court. or you violate the sanctity of the court. Got it? So the attorney cannot speak on behalf of his client because he would be testifying. He cannot speak on behalf of his client because he cannot offer up testimony on behalf of anyone else. If he tells, well, Your Honor, my client has informed me, I'm sorry, hearsay, inadmissible. And the court said, well, I'm allowed, objection! See, that's me. You cannot allow that. This is not your case. You don't get to just allow things because you feel like it. He cannot testify on behalf of his client. He cannot tell us what his client said or didn't say because I cannot cross-examine his client. I don't believe his client said that, so his client must now come in and tell us they said it. So no, you don't get to allow him to do that. That's not your call. That is mine if I wish to waive my right to challenge his stupidity. And I do not wish to waive my rights, you ignorant mother. I'm sorry, don't do that part. Okay? But now do you understand? I apologize if it appeared that I was raising my voice. That is not me raising my voice, and a lot of people misunderstand that because they don't know what they's doing. Ladies and gentlemen, I got 259 more gigabytes to transfer to this computer. So y'all just we gonna skip the pictures that we already got copies of because ain't no reason. So that's 259 plus another 51. As y'all can do the math, that's over 300 gigabytes that I'm transferring. And hey, how come you at zero? You ain't supposed to be at zero. You better start moving. I like it when you move it, move it. Anyway, it'll be moving in a minute. Ladies and gentlemen, it's called a commanding voice. I've been doing it ever since I first noticed police officers doing it. I was a kid and I would watch shows like SWAT, the original SWAT. You know, Street, the peace officer, the one who committed suicide. Sorry that young man did that. But anyway, that was TJ and all of them, the original SWAT. I like that show. Anyway, that was my show. But in one of the episodes, it was either that, I watched Adam and 12. One Adam 12. Anyway, those were the shows I watched as a kid.
At one point, I wanted to be a fireman. What's a fireman? It's a man who sets himself on fire and then runs around. Oh, that's a fireman? Good. I wanted to be a fireman, and then I wanted to be a fire truck driver. He's not called a fire truck driver, he's called an engineer. An engineer? What's he engineering? Well, that truck got a lot of components and a lot of symbols and a lot of signs and a lot of mechanisms and a lot of meters, and so he's got to monitor all of that because some of them meters are under a lot of pressure. Oh, he's under a lot of pressure. That's why he's called an engineer, because he's under a lot of pressure.
Okay, anyway, and I heard in one of the episodes while they were training their staff about commanding people. You see, people have been taught to listen to a command. Look, don't do this because it causes a lot of anger. See, I used to have situations where police officers or guards would sit up there and order me to do something. And I would look at them and I'd be like, you must be out of your mind. Hey, y'all, I think he needs to go to medical. Yeah, he's got some issues. Because for some stupid reason, this ignorant mother thought he could sit up here and tell me what to do. And then I would do it. I do remember one time that a group of officers told me that they were going to make me walk from one place to the next. And I do remember sitting up there doing like I always do, because it's my routine, sitting back in the chair, folding my arms and saying, well, then you're going to have to carry me, because I guarantee you I ain't walking. Guess what, y'all? They weren't willing to carry me, and so we didn't go nowhere. I let them know, people, it don't work like that. You are not going to sit up here and make me do nothing that I don't want to do. Sorry. I even had to tell some of them, guys, this is not personal. This is my personality. I have a very difficult time with people ordering me to do something. Not even my God orders me to do something. My God gives me the choice to listen to him or not listen to him. Now, mind you, just like my God, Jehovah, if I don't listen to him, I got to suffer some consequences. So when I don't listen to those idiots, I have to suffer consequences. I have to be willing to accept the consequence. Ladies and gentlemen, you don't get to pick your consequence. That's the one rule you should learn in life. That if you do something stupid, do something wrong, or do something contrary to the norm, you have to suffer consequences. When you suffer them consequences, you don't get to choose the consequence. So you stuck. Many people don't understand that. I tries to explain it to them. I tries. I'm getting rid of some things on my desktop here. Okay, let's get rid of that. It looks like the same desktop you always have. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a different computer, different desktop. See, look at the picture. It's a party picture. Party. Get out of here. Nobody wants to have your advertisement for no stupid shredder. Ladies and gentlemen, here's the other thing real quick before we get back to the judge and the attorneys. There's a software. This is it right here. I actually like it. It's not intrusive. It's not overbearing. It's as soon as it pops up, I got a lot of things going. I got this going up here. This is my Dragon Naturally Speaking. Then I'm not on the internet, but I got this. This is called DU Meter. Got that going. And then I got the Windows. And then I got Word up. Okay, and then I got this Naturally Speaking because I gotta have a motion that I'm working on read back to me. And then I got 360, and then I got 3 other programs going on. So there's a lot going on in this computer, but this computer is the same speed as my other one, so it can handle it. That's what I needed. This is 360 Total Security. Just go to Google, type in 360 Total Security, download the free version, okay, and you're gonna be satisfied. I assure you. Okay, it's the free version, okay? It comes with a lot of junk, and then it even has a toolbox. You know, for those of y'all who like to work on things. Okay, by the way, Bobby Brown, he done grown old now. He don't sound nothing like this now. I'm disappointed. I feel sorry for Bobby. But of course, he ain't the same Bobby. He done grown and been through a whole lot and been through a whole lot of stress. So I feels for Bobby. And I do feel for the fact that that man has lost his wife and his daughter. That right there, that's a lot. So I do feel sorry for that young man. But let's get back to talking about these judges and attorneys. Ladies and gentlemen, there is an original trust agreement. You all know about the Restating KV Trust. Many of you have heard about the Restating KV Trust, right? Well, do yourselves a favor, especially those of you who file lawsuits. I've been trying to figure out, how do we get these idiots' attention? How do we get them to stop ignoring us, to stop ignoring our rights? Well, why not just reinstitute the trust? When we file our lawsuit, why not let them know we're reinstituting the trust and we were coming in there under that trust and the associated trust and holding them to their fiduciary duties respecting the trust and remembering that we are the beneficiaries of the trust and they must work what's in our best interests. Hello? Anybody hear me out there? That's what I'm getting ready to do. I'm filing a lawsuit. I already filed the lawsuit, but I tried to do it at common law in the federal court, and the federal court ignored me. That's ABC, y'all. ABC's got some latest breaking news about some LGBTGQMVM. You know what? This is not breaking news. Okay? This is a bar that killed 32 people. Ladies and gentlemen, the loss of 32 lives in New Orleans? Okay? But they're saying that all of the people in that bar, the 32 that died, were gay. That's not the point, you ignorant mother. The point is, it's 32 people who died. Okay? Somebody gets shot and killed on the street. You don't say,
Oh yeah, that little boy over there who got shot and killed. Oh no, don't worry about him. He was only Puerto Rican. Oh no, he was Chinese. No, he was yeah, he was one of them. Don't worry about that. It's just another one of them. Okay, that's not how it works, morons. Sorry, talking to ABC when I say morons. We'll get back to the trust thing in a second. Ladies and gentlemen, in our society, what's going on is they are trying to incite your emotions, your culture. They know that your culture doesn't permit or allow certain things, so they are trying to inflame those prejudices that you have as a result of culture. Remember, it was whites and blacks. Okay, so Black Lives Matter! And so they started inflaming that. And then the news highlights another cop killing a black man. But this one was armed. This one was unarmed. This one was a 17-year-old boy. This one was a 12-year-old boy. You see, they do that because they need to inflame your emotions. I, on the other hand, don't care about your emotions. I gotta be truthful about that. I don't care about your emotions because your emotions don't mean anything to me. I'm not trying to give you my opinion and sway you left, right, up, down, in, and out. I am trying to tell you what the facts are. Okay, so let me put it to you this way. We all grew up in a particular neighborhood, a particular environment. We grew up in a particular family. These families had their own way of doing things, their own culture, their own mindset. Ladies and gentlemen, each one of you have your own prejudices. Shut it up. If you're going to sit up here and say you don't have any prejudices, you are a moron, a fool, an ignorant son of, and you don't need to be watching my videos. Just like the idiot who I said if he ever said I ain't gay, that he thought about it at one point in time in his life. He going to sit up here and tell me I didn't know what I was talking about. Well, excuse me, morons. If I say something and it doesn't apply to you, why do you take it personally? But it didn't apply to you, so why would you take it personally? But it didn't apply to you, so why would you take it personally? Thank you. The only way you can get upset about what somebody says is if it strikes a chord, if it's personal. So let me give you an example. In my neighborhood, I used to live in a neighborhood where the members of the neighborhood were called bounty hunters. Bounty hunters! BH for blood. They were bloods. Okay? Now, in this neighborhood, these bloods would often have confrontation with the Crips. And they were surrounded by Crip. Great Street, Imperial Court, so on and so forth. We don't need to give you all the names of the different Crip gangs that were there. And they were also in battle with some blood gangs. Okay? We're going to get back to the trust thing in a minute. We were in the gym one day. I had just come up there. I wasn't going to play basketball that day. I had just come up there and a couple of them were talking, and one of the guys' name was Tidy Bowl. And Tidy Bowl and I, we knew each other. We went to school, but we weren't boys. We didn't hang out. We just knew each other. And so we would talk occasionally. I knew Tidy Bowl, I knew his brother. Okay? And so Toddy Bowl, his name was Toddy Bowl, y'all. His name was, I don't know how Toddy Bowl got his name, just like Toddy T. Don't know how Toddy T got his name, but this man's name was Toddy Bowl. Toddy Bowl was an alright young man. Someone ended up killing him a couple of years later. But Toddy Bowl was alright. He treated me with respect, honestly. I walked into the gym and they said, they were laughing and pointing at me, and I said, okay, so you people are in here talking about me. I said, what's so important about me? And they said, oh, we were just talking about how if we got into a fight with you, we wouldn't fight you, we'd have to shoot you. I said, you niggas in here talking about shooting me? For what? What did I do to any of y'all? They said, because you're too strong. And they said, man, you cockstrong. That was the word they called me. That was a nickname they gave me. Muscular dystrophy. People, when I hit people, it's like a brick wall. It's like being hit by a brick is what they would say. And I had no problem with that because it was true. And so, and as I'm doing this, the guy he's laughing uncontrollably at how hysterical the situation is because I'm a comedian.
Okay? Every show you see me, and I'm no comedian. Anyway, Rockham, Eric B. Ladies and gentlemen, I said, look at that. He's sitting over there slobbering all over himself. Whew, there was no more laughter. The joke was over. It now came time for get a rope. Okay? Bloods don't like the phrase slob because it is a phrase that Crips call Bloods. And it's a derogatory term. Well, I wasn't familiar with that. And Toddy pulled me to the side and he says, man, you can't say that. Say what? I can't say, look at that fool. Fool is just a word. He says, no, the other word. What other word? I said, look at that fool. He's slobbering. Slobbering? What's wrong with that word? He was slobbering. What's wrong with the word slobbering? And then he told me, man, because it's a bad word. You can't say that around Bloods. And it was only about a week and a half later that I found out the reason why. Okay? Ladies and gentlemen, all my life, my mother had told me that if somebody calls you out of your name, if they call me out of my name, you let them do it. And so people would talk about my mama all the time. You know, because we used to do the your mama thing. So my friends would come over, I'd say, Mama, he sat up here and he was talking about you today. And I'd embarrass them in front of her. And I would tell my mother what they said while they were there. So a lot of people didn't talk about my mama. Don't you dare say nothing about Miss Jenkins. Okay, because my mother was a school teacher at the school, so she knew most of the kids. And so I didn't really have a problem with people talking about my mama. Okay, but again, my mama would make sure that we understood that if somebody said something, that's just words. Just like in the Matrix, where, what was her name? Now I can't, Santi. Her father said, love, that's just a word. Okay, it's just a word. However, the word love is more than a word because the love has a personification. Righteousness has a personification. Those are not just words. Those words actually carry with it personifications. But somebody can carry a word that has a meaning and that meaning can have it. No, that meaning can only have an effect if it's personal. Back to the point, ladies and gentlemen. So if I bring information to your attention and it's personal to you, take it, hold on to it, absorb it. But don't throw it back at me. Don't bring it back to my attention because I don't care. When I said it, it wasn't meant to be personal. It was just me speaking. If I say something and you don't like it, get over it. Get around it, get by it, get through it. Okay? But let it go. All right. Back to the trust thing. Ladies and gentlemen, you all have heard that there is a trust. Now, you have several trusts you can play with. There is a Social Security trust. A lot of people hold on to the Social Security trust, but there is also a trust with the Treasury Department that it's responsible for. We don't know exactly what the name of that trust is. Sorry, don't sit up here and give me none of your ideas because you can't prove it. And unless you can prove it, shut it up. Okay? Just shut it up. And then there's the Cesta KV Trust. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not telling you to name it. I'm saying that I am here restating the trust, reiterating the trust. Okay? And you are to say that this is hereby irrevocable and is to be in effect immediately and until justice is done through, this is the way I did mine, until justice is done earth-wide. Okay? That's how long mine stays in effect, irrevocable and self-executing. People say, you can't do that. Ladies and gentlemen, I know of 3 men who that's exactly what they did. That's exactly what they did. Talk to Eric Holder. It's because of what they did that he was no longer in office. Go back and look at Eric Holder, how he retired before the election to have that idiot in office now. There was no reason for him to retire. He could have waited until September, but he retired in October, a little over a month before the election. Why was that? And you notice you haven't heard much from him? Because of what he allowed these young men to do to him. And when I looked at it and I saw the pieces and I put the pieces together to see what happened, and I knew what they did. It's taken me a minute to bring it to you all's attention, because these young men, when they did it, they were in prison. They weren't on the outside coming together like y'all. They were in prison. I've seen a copy of the agreement that they put together. The binding agreement on Eric Holder. And I liked it. Okay? And so that's what I'm suggesting you guys do with your lawsuits. Institute this trust agreement. State the trust. People say, well, you got to state the trust. Well, yes, I'm going to state the trust. I'm going to restate the trust. The trust already exists, so I'm just going to restate it. And I'm going to hold you to your obligations associated with the trust. Reassign your trustees' duties with the Form 56, attach it to my lawsuit, give it to whichever judicial officer it's assigned to. Make them just a fiduciary. As a fiduciary, you have no controlling interest. You must do what's in the best interest of the trust. Failure to do that will result in your being in breach of your fiduciary duties. And you'll be subject to binding arbitration. You'll love that, people, if you do it right. I know I'm giving some of y'all some great ideas. Look, ladies and gentlemen, the stuff I do, the system is not used to it. We are catching them off guard. They're having to think. Like I told you, I have the lady in that state of Washington where they are really having a hard time with our paperwork. They are not denying, they're not dismissing our paperwork. They are just dismissing the cases. And then on appeal, the arguments I'm bringing up, they can't get around, so they're trying to nitpick and figure out. You all do not know how the courts are set up, so let me tell you how the courts are set up. Each court has a staff. Your case is assigned a case manager. Your case manager is one of them stupid attorneys who comes out of one of them stupid law schools whom the court hires on its staff. Go to court and see how many attorneys are walking in that building, and you don't realize most of those attorneys are not walking in there handling a case. Most of those attorneys are walking in there because they work at the court. That's why they always have them idiots on file, on staff. Well, they go over your case. They're the ones who tell the court about what your case is or is not supposed to say. They're the ones who construe what you're trying to say. So, now you're going to bind the judicial officer and anyone else assigned to review your case. Just that simple. Hey guys, I just wanted to give you this information. For some of you, I know you're going to find it beneficial. As a matter of fact, I'm going back to, I don't care who watch my videos. I'm going back to understanding that my videos will get to the people whom it's supposed to get to, and the people who it's supposed to benefit will benefit from it. That's where I'm going back to. The rest of you guys who are here because you just want to get the new way, the newfangled way of doing this and doing that, or understanding money and currency and all of that stuff, you're still going to get that information. But as I said, I'm winding down. I guess I can't explain this so that you guys can understand.
Hey, did you see that right there? Most people who see this picture won't even notice that thing in the sky, or that little tree right there in the background, or look, that little tree sitting right up there. Most people won't even notice the little small things. You see this little wood bug, stick bug, that's what they call them, stick bug. Okay, or most people just won't notice these things, people. Or, oh, mommy, do you see that balloon over there? And then there's another balloon, and then there's...
See, again, ladies and gentlemen, I look for the small things. because it's not about the distractions. Let me give you guys something. Hey, this is not my group. Is this the style? This ain't the Style Licks. This is somebody else. This is Prince singing this song. That's Prince, y'all. He did it in Emancipation. You know, you guys all knew that he was using this symbol before. Well, see, what most people didn't know, that this is a Babylonian symbol. This is the symbol for where the cross, one of the symbols for where the cross comes from. People think that the cross was invented in Jesus' day. Please. The cross comes from a Babylonian symbol. It has everything to do with Nimrod, Cush, and Ishtar. Okay? But pay attention. There's one cross there. There's another cross there. It's called a double cross.
Oh, you double-crossed me!
That's where the phrase double cross comes from. You could learn a lot from a dummy. Okay?
But this is supposed to be the female organ. See? The male penis, female organ. No, that's not what that's for!
Nope, that's what it's for. Sorry, people. It's a pagan symbol. Most people just don't know. By the way, this is Prince's version of Betcha by Golly Wow. While this video is on its way out, let me explain to you guys what's happening. Although my health, I'm alright. You guys haven't heard me complaining about pain, muscle aches, or anything like that, because usually in the past that's what it was. But I've corrected my diet, got rid of all that meat, not just red meat, but all meat. White meat, black meat, pink meat, orange meat, green meat, whatever type of meat.
You eat green meat?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, anyway, whatever type of meat it was, no more. Completely vegetarian. And fish. Okay. And will remain that way for the rest of my life. That's my choice. And I expect to live for a while. Ladies and gentlemen, the disease still progresses. Do not send me your little theories, your little remedies, I don't care. You guys just don't know. I told you not to do it. Many of you continue to do it. And those of you, I block your emails. Those of you, I block your phone numbers. That's why people, when they call me now, I go straight to voicemail, because you blocked, buddy. And I don't even listen to the voicemail. Because when I give my word, when I say don't do something and people do it anyway and it concerns something I have control over, trust me, I'm going to exercise that control. So I don't want to hear it. I'm only telling you what's going on. But if you don't want it to get you, and you shouldn't be telling, then you should just get away from my videos and stop listening. That's what you should do. You don't get to dictate what I get to say and what I don't get to say. Nor do you get to dictate what I get to listen to and what I don't get to listen to. See, just like I don't get to dictate that to you. See, if you don't want to hear what I have to say, you just stop watching. It's just that simple. Many of y'all don't get it. So I have to block you, like the V-chip. Getting back to the conversation, the disease is still progressing, and I'm losing the ability to focus and concentrate. So I cannot multitask like I used to. Although I have all of these windows open, I've been working on the motion since this morning, and I have 4 motions that I have to do. Since this morning at 6 o'clock. It is now just after 6 o'clock in the evening. Let's make sure, because I'm only going to be up for about another hour doing this, and then I'm going to have to take a break. But that being the case, that being said, I don't have the energy to work on all of this, work on the Defrauded Homeowners of America lawsuit, and we are still pursuing that, so you guys just hang on and help with SATCOM. As a matter of fact, the angles and the areas that SATCOM is getting ready to cover, I promise you we'll be doing an updated video to let you all know what we're doing and the facets and aspects of things and how we're adding to the programs we already have in place for the people who are already SATPAC members. Okay? You just need to be patient, because we are going about taking care of the QSIT information now. We're getting ready to convert all of those certificates and those affidavits into securities. Okay, we told you it would take time, because why? We started a corporation. We came up with the concept in 2012. We started implementing it in 2017. We brought in our members. We've almost got the board completed, and that's the only members we were focusing on right now. So everybody who came into SATCOM were to be members of the board. We couldn't, well, we did tell them that, but we couldn't come straight out and tell them that and everything that was going on, because we needed people we could trust. And we had one person, ladies and gentlemen, he was in charge of our email department. This person got frustrated that we wouldn't listen to his ideas, doing things his way, because we had to let him know, this ain't your company. This is not going to be done the way you want to do it. This is going to be done the way when you came in, we told you we were headed. That's the direction we're going to stay in. We're going to stick to the foundation. We're not going to let no legal redress commission junk go on here. Well, he got mad, so he left. And he deleted the entire load of emails from our clients. Just deleted them because he had access to the system. Well, we have implemented a lot of security measures, a lot of redundancies, a lot of backing up, and a lot of separating of departments so that one department doesn't know what the other department is doing. Those of you who've been in communication are finding that out real quick. Why? Because we have people's information that we have to keep secure. And by the way, the individual who deleted the emails, he did not have access to anybody's personal information. He only had access to the emails coming in through the support. The support emails and the emails for where the birth certificates and stuff are completely separate. Nobody, those two groups don't even get to talk to each other. I don't even get to see the emails concerning the birth certificates. Okay? I only get to see the emails coming into support. And that's for a reason. Okay? Because even though people trust me, I have to still protect their interests. And nobody is above board at SATCOM. I'm just giving you guys that because, as I told the members of SATCOM, and I'm going to tell you what the conversation, well, I can't tell you what the conversation was because SATCOM is proprietary. I cannot tell you what the conversations are. Just like I couldn't give you the person's name or the exact situation a moment ago. What I can tell you is that some individuals are concerned about the organization and how we're perceived by others. Whether if anything goes wrong, will it reflect on them? And I had to let them know. I said, people, nobody knows the rest of you exist. My name is the only name out there in the public concerning SATCOM. So if anything goes wrong, everybody's going to blame me. Then they're going to talk about Jehovah's Witnesses as if Jehovah's Witnesses are the bad guy. Just like one guy, when there was a communication problem with his email, we didn't get it, and we found out the reason why, because it was going to the wrong email address. He cursed out Jehovah and Jehovah's Witnesses. SATCOM is not a Jehovah's Witness website, but because I tell people I'm one of Jehovah's Witnesses, they then want to blame Jehovah and his witnesses for my mistake. So I'm held to a much higher standard. And then it's F me this and F me that and mother this and mother that. That's what I get. And then we find out that, oh, it was a mistake. My bad. Apologize. I apologize. That's what I go through, people. Not a lot. It only happens occasionally. I think the last email that we got that was so volatile was that one. And that was sometime in February. So we don't get them a lot, but when we do get them, people have noticed that we have spiced up our email system and our communication. We have even gone about, and I say we, I mean the organization of SATCOM, because I'm in charge of the email, so I can talk about this. We have even gone about training our staff to communicate with you all in a certain way, that they can't just treat you like you're trash. We made sure of that, but then we had one person who was too matter of fact with people, basically just, well, these are the facts, here it is, there you go, bye, and I had to tell them, no, you can't do that because people will get offended. You need to put yourself in their shoes, understand their perception from where they're asking their question, and then respond accordingly. But do so as if you were talking to yourself and you wanted to be treated with that respect. After explaining that to that individual, let's me make sure you understand. His communication with people have been a lot greater. Why? Because we're trying to build in our people the necessary skills to run the organization. See, this is not a one-man show. It's not a two-man show. This is a commission, a legitimate commission. They are responsible. They are communicating with each other. They are concerned about your interests. We are narrowing everything down. We are making sure that even the members who signed up, we're taking care of the CPNs for people. We have a new program that we're bringing together, and we're going to put that together. But we just need y'all to hold on, because I promise y'all, you cannot put a company together in 6 months or a year and a half. That's why when you hear these companies doing mergers, that it takes them at least a year to 2 years to do a merger. Well, when you bring forth a company, you bring forth a corporation that is going to be doing all the multifaceted things that SATCOM is doing, 2 years is about average. Well, we're not even quite at 2 years yet since we started bringing together SATCOM. We are just over a year and 2 months. So we are still putting things together, but we're also actively processing your interests during that time. Our job is to take those items, convert them into securities. We're going to get a QSIT number for our copy. Then we're going to take your copy, get a separate QSIT number, forward that QSIT number to you. Those who are members, those who are part of the SATPAC 1 program, we're going to take that instrument, get a QSIT number for that instrument, register that QSIT number, give it to you. We're going to keep the one for us, and then we're going to work it out like it explains on the website. Please, some of you have been trying to contact SATCOM, trying to get more information. Told you people, we're working on this. They don't have this information. You can't contact support for that, so stop it. Okay, I know you're greedy. I know you only thinking about the dividends. I know you only thinking about the moolah, but stop it. Okay, just stop it. You know, some people would think that car right there in front of us is a nice car, but to me, I'm going to be honest with you. That BMW is, it's ugly to me, but that's just my opinion. I'm not a very good coupe person. Okay? I don't like coupes. I think that a two-seater, please. Well, it's fast. Yeah, it's fast, all right, but it only seats 2 people comfortably. The people in the back seat, please, get in an accident, that's where they are. They in the trunk. Because the 2 people in the front seat will end up in the back seat. So, no, don't like coupes no more, y'all. All right, ladies and gentlemen and ladies, thank you for joining me today. These videos will be up soon. So on that note, I got to go finish proofreading this document and putting in this rest of this information. Take care of yourselves. Have a Coke and a smile. See y'all in a while. Adios. Hey, Prince, thanks for taking us on out of here. Goodbye, y'all. Wrong button. See, still the wrong button.